Dear friend, what if I told you that one of the most powerful things you can do for another human being is nothing? Not nothing, in the sense of apathy or indifference, but nothing in the sense of resisting the urge to fix, to advise, to preach, or to solve. What if the greatest, most healing gift you could ever offer someone who is walking through the winter of their soul is the quiet, simple, unwavering gift of your presence? We live in a world of action, of solutions. When we see a friend in pain, our minds immediately race. What can I say? What can I do? How can I make this better? We offer advice. We share inspirational quotes. We send articles and book recommendations. We try to pull them out of their darkness and into our light. And we do it out of love. But sometimes, in our frantic efforts to help, we unintentionally communicate a painful message. Your grief is a problem to be solved. Your darkness is an inconvenience. Please hurry up and get better. And the person who is suffering feels not only their original pain, but now also the quiet shame of being a project to be fixed. Today, as we begin our journey to celebrate the invisible heroes of faith, we will sit with a story about a young woman who understood this profound, forgotten truth. A woman who, when faced with unimaginable grief and bitterness, chose not to fix, but simply to stay. Her name is Ruth, and her story is a masterclass in the sacred ministry of presence. Let us begin with a prayer for the quiet heroes. God of all comfort, teach me when to speak and when to be silent. Quiet my own anxiety to fix the unfixable. Give me the grace to simply be present, to be a safe harbor for the suffering of those I love. Amen. Our story picks up where we left off, with Naomi, a woman who has lost everything: her husband, her 2 sons, her home, her future. A woman so consumed by grief that she has renamed herself Mara, bitter. A woman who has declared openly that the hand of God is against her. She is in the dead of a spiritual winter, a walking ruin. On a dusty road from the foreign land of Moab, she gives her 2 Moabite daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth, a final, heartbreaking gift. She gives them an exit. She releases them from any obligation. She tells them to go back to the life they knew, to find new husbands, to seek a future that she can no longer provide. Her logic is flawless. Her reasoning is sound. It is more bitter for me than for you, she says. In essence, don't chain yourself to my sinking ship. Save yourselves. And Orpah makes the sensible choice. We cannot fault her for it. She weeps, she kisses Naomi goodbye, and she turns back toward her home, her people, and her gods. She chooses a future, but Ruth does something radical, something illogical, something foolish in the eyes of the world. The text says simply, "But Ruth clung to her." This is the first act of quiet heroism, a clinging. It is a physical, visceral refusal to let go. Naomi tries again. "Look, your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her." She is offering Ruth one last chance to escape her bitterness, her emptiness, her God who has seemingly turned against her. And Ruth's response is the cornerstone of our reflection today. It is a vow, a sacred pledge that echoes through the ages. Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me. Let us sit in the profound beauty of this vow. Ruth is not saying, "Don't worry, Naomi, it will all get better." She is not saying, "Let me fix your theology." God is not really against you. She is not offering solutions. She is offering herself. Where you go, I will go. She is saying, I will enter your future, whatever it may hold. Your uncertainty will be my uncertainty. Your path will be my path. Where you stay, I will stay. She's saying, if you are stuck, I will be stuck with you. I will not push you. I will not pull you. I will simply sit with you in this place of waiting for as long as it takes. Your people will be my people. She's saying, I will leave behind everything I have ever known, my culture, my identity, my safety net, to become a foreigner with you. And most radically of all, your God will be my God. Think about this. The only God Ruth has ever known through Naomi is the God Naomi has just accused of afflicting her and bringing her back empty. Ruth is not choosing a God of prosperity and blessing. She is choosing to worship the God of her suffering friend. It is an act of breathtaking, empathetic faith. If you have ever been blessed by a Ruth in your life, someone who chose to stay with you in your winter, let your quiet like be a testament to these invisible heroes. Ruth's heroism is invisible because it is a heroism of subtraction, not addition. She is not adding her opinion, her advice, or her solutions. She is subtracting her own future, her own comfort, and her own agenda to make space for Naomi's pain. She is creating a sanctuary with her presence, a place where Naomi is allowed to be exactly as she is, broken, bitter, and angry at God. And in that safe space, something miraculous can begin to happen. There is a profound psychological truth here. When we are in deep pain, the frantic efforts of others to cheer us up often make us feel worse. It makes us feel misunderstood. It forces us to manage their anxiety on top of our own grief. But the quiet, non-anxious presence of a loving friend who is not afraid of our darkness, who does not need us to be okay, that is a gift beyond measure. It is a silent message that says, you are not too much. Your pain is not a problem. I am here. I am not leaving. That is the presence that heals. And so they arrive in Bethlehem, two women, empty-handed, with nothing but each other. Naomi is still Mara. Ruth is a poor foreigner. The story could have ended there. A tragedy of loss and a touching portrait of loyalty. But God takes Ruth's quiet, foolish, faithful act of staying, and He makes it the seed of His own redemption story. Ruth's loyalty, her willingness to serve and care for Naomi, leads her to a barley field. Her character, her quiet dignity, catches the eye of the field's owner, Boaz. And the story unfolds. A story of kindness, of protection, of a kinsman redeemer. A story where Ruth, the foreigner, becomes the wife of Boaz, a respected leader in the town. a story where Ruth, the childless widow, gives birth to a son. And in the final chapter, we see the beautiful completion of the circle. The women of the town bring the baby boy to Naomi, and they say to her, "Praise be to the Lord, for your daughter-in-law, who loves you and who is better to you than 7 sons, has given him birth." And the text says, Naomi took the child, laid him in her lap, and cared for him. The woman who returned empty is now full. The woman who was called bitter is now a grandmother, a nurturer, a vessel of legacy. But how did this happen? God used no thunder from heaven, no dramatic miracles. He used the quiet, stubborn, faithful presence of one woman who was willing to stay. Ruth's presence did not fix Naomi's grief. Time and grace did that. But her presence created the space where Naomi could survive the winter. Her loyalty was the small, sheltered place where the seed of hope could finally begin to sprout. What does this mean for us today? It means we are all called to be a Ruth for someone. And we all need a Ruth in our lives. It is to look at our friends, our family, our community, who are in their own season of winter, and to resist the urge to be a problem solver, and instead to become a sanctuary of presence. It means picking up the phone, not to give advice, but just to say, "I'm thinking of you. No need to talk. Just wanted you to know." It means sitting with a grieving friend in silence, if that is what they need. It means making a meal, not to cheer them up, but simply to take one small burden off their plate. It is the ministry of small, quiet, consistent acts of showing up. It is the heroism of simply staying put. This is a quiet heroism. The world will not applaud it. It will never make the headlines. But it is the glue that holds the world together. It is the very picture of the love of God. For what is the gospel, if not the story of a God who chose to stay? A God who did not shout solutions from heaven, but who came down to be present with us in our suffering. A God who, in Jesus, became Emmanuel, God with us. If this message about the quiet power of presence has inspired you, we invite you to subscribe. This is a community that celebrates the small, faithful acts of love that change the world. In the comments below, perhaps you could simply write, "I will stay." A quiet vow, a commitment to be a Ruth in a world that is so quick to leave. Let us close with a blessing. For the one who is suffering, may God send you a Ruth who is not afraid of your winter. And for the one who stands beside the sufferer, may God give you the grace to be a Ruth. May you have the courage to offer the quiet, powerful, healing gift of your presence. And may you both discover, on the long road together, that this is where redemption begins. Amen. Quiet now. Just breathe.